All right, today we're gonna do a very quick unboxing. This is for the SMO 4K Action Camera. What is it? Well, I used to have this, a GoPro 7, and it is a great little camera, but it's very heavy if you want to run this on a micro drone, like a Cinewhoop that's under 250 grams or something. So what I did was I took it all apart. Oh my goodness. And I built one of these, a naked GoPro. And everything was hunky-dory. I had a few mild crashes, but this thing performed really well and took some great footage. And then one day I put it into another mount on a drone and had to not force it in, but it was tight. The mount for the Flywheel Explorer, and it just stopped working. So not really sure what happened. Maybe during the decasing process, I weakened something. I'm not sure. There's nothing apparently wrong. Now, something that does go bad are these little Beck boards. It's a BetaFPV makes these. And what they do, it's just a voltage regulator, basically, to make sure that the camera's got 5 volts. So they say that that this often goes. So I did have a spare and I tried that and it didn't work. Anyway, so long story short, the naked GoPro is no more. It's non-functional. So I had to get a replacement. And this is what I chose. Essentially, this is like a GoPro that has already been decased. So it takes away all that risk of you, making a mistake and decasing it. Because believe me, it was a tricky process. And I've got a video of the decasing of the GoPro, which I'll link. Okay, so let's see what's in here. So, for anybody that knows about the Insta360 brand, they have the Insta360 camera, which is a larger 360 camera, and I think it's called the R1. This is the R1 stripped down, or their main camera stripped down, into, what's essentially pretty much the same as the naked GoPro. Virtually identical in form factor. This one's a tiny bit heavier. I think this is 26 grams, and I think this is about 30 grams. I'll put the actual weights, I'll annotate those there for you. Okay, so here is the camera. There's the power input. Looks like this is also the memory card slot. 2 buttons, very limited features, on and off, record. This back has a little pin that you can use for some mounts. My understanding is, and here it is, they also provide another back with no, I don't even know what you'd call that, but without this little protrusion. Okay, so there's an extra one here if you need it. It also comes with, which is very useful, a UV filter. Now, practically speaking, modern cameras that we have today, modern digital cameras, don't need a UV filter. The electronic sensors usually got that stuff built in. It's capable of handling UV. But what the UV does do when you put it on, the UV filter acts as a protector for the lens. Okay, so if you bump into something, it doesn't shatter it. So that's pretty handy to have. The second thing they give you is an ND filter, a neutral density filter. And this is essentially, people always say it's like sunglasses for your camera, and that's exactly what it is. It basically just dims the light and allows you to have a slower shutter speed so you can get motion blur using the 180 rule. Yeah. Okay, what else is in here? Probably not too much more. Tiny screwdriver, okay, that's useful. Power cables, okay, this is important because this little connector, I think it's a SH1.0 4-pin, I think is what it's called. I didn't have any of these, so I bought some extras to put on other drones, because essentially what you need to do is provide this power from your drone. You can either doing it by, hardwiring some 5-volt power directly to your flight controller. You can also attach it to the LiPo balance leads. People have done that as well. But the critical part for me is I didn't have any of these little connectors to go on the in the SMO 4K, so I ordered some extras. Okay, what else is in here? Okay, a little card with some support. Wow, there's an instruction manual. You don't see this very often. manufacturers have almost exclusively gone to just providing basically links to online documentation, which, you know, hey, let's save the planet, right? Okay, so really there's not much more I can tell you about this this camera. It's supposed to be very similar to the GoPro in terms of functionality. The footage okay, well, something funny happened with the last video. It ended very abruptly. I'm not sure why. I was just finishing up the SMO 4K camera unboxing, and it just stopped suddenly. So anyway, I'm not sure if there's anything more I need to tell you about this other than looks like a great camera, comparable to the GoPro. Why did I choose this over, say, something like the Insta360 Go 2, which is a very small camera? I'll put a little picture of it. This is more like a GoPro. I guess one of the things I liked about this better than the Insta360 Go 2 is the fact that this has flow state stabilization as part of the camera and software. That makes really nice FPV footage, whereas with the GoPro, you have to actually buy Real Steady, which is an extra $100. So anyway, that's one of the nice things I liked about this SMO 4K camera. But the reason I went with this over the Go 2, or Insta360 Go 2, these are hard to remember, is that this does 4K 60 frames per second, and I really like that. The 60 frames per second gives you the ability to slow things down by 50%, so you can do some nice slow motion action. I thought that was kind of worth investing in this camera versus another one. Anyway, there's not much more really I need to say. You know, I will put this to good use. I'm going to do some footage, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for popping by.